Here's an update on the weather forecast for North America, Southern Canada. We're going to get right into things here. We have this, I'm briefly going to show you the stalled out frontal boundary here across the mid-Atlantic states. This is going to be the problem spot because out west we have nothing going on, and during the next 5 days there is going to be nothing going on. So enjoy your weather out west, because here in the east, that's where things get a little tough. We've already got some possible winter weather advisories here. I think these are minor ice accumulations. We have this overrunning precipitation continuing on the backside of this low pressure system. You can see it's moving. Actually, this low pressure system isn't moving very fast. In fact, during the next 24 to 48 hours, it's going to move very slowly across the Carolinas and southern Virginia. Now, there's a lot of problems, feedback problems as to where this low is going to go. But here at MeteoMark Studios, we are pretty confident on where it's going to go at this time. We're not so much confident on major significant snowfall accumulations. We think those will occur somewhere in the higher elevations here in the Appalachians somewhere, but we're not exactly, we're going to pinpoint those on the map here where we possibly think that could occur. Because the temperatures with this system, admit it, they're very marginal. Temperatures are hovering into the middle and upper 30s and lower 40s across much of this area. So this is marginal for significant winter weather, and it will remain a problem. Let's take a look at precipitation amounts through. Before we do that, look at the flash flood warnings across the Mississippi River Valley. We've had a lot of rain, but hopefully as the cold air filters in, that will stop a lot of the runoff, and we won't have such a problem with that. So let's take a look at what we've got precipitation-wise across 2 to 4 inches across southern Virginia, extending down towards northern Alabama, right through the heart of the Appalachians here. That's where we're expecting the heaviest precipitation, averaging 3 inches here in the central Appalachians. It's on the northern edge of this precipitation shield is where we'll see the possibility of that frozen precipitation, whether it be a coating to 1 inch or 2 inches, or possibly up to 3 to 5 inches in some of the higher elevations of snow, or a wintry mix of sleet, snow, freezing rain, and plain rain. So that's going to be in the forecast. It's not going to be torrential precipitation. It's going to be light, but it will still cause a problem. Let's take a look at what we've got going on right now for the rest of the country right now. We've got that trough in the west, the ridge in the east. That's translating to temperature-wise. We're going to take a look here at the long-range pattern for the cold snap for the east here and the central states. And for that matter, it's going to be pretty cold out west. We had some negative readings out here in Nevada this morning, -10, -20 degrees, so that's interesting, being the desert southwest is really getting in on the act of this colder weather. So let's take a look at what we've got going on here for snowfall and freezing precipitation. We'll have that stripe of snow. Each model run is pushing this storm further north. We're holding tough with the track right across. You can see, let me move off here so you can see it. You can see the southern low. This is a clipper system that's going to move across, but it's really not going to affect much real estate here in the northern U.S. It's mainly going to be in southern Canada. This low pressure is going to continue moving just off the southeast Virginia, northern North Carolina coastline and move slowly out to sea. Another low might develop off of it and produce some minor light snowfall accumulations for New England. But that remains to be seen. We did paint them into a coating of 1 inch, coating 1 inch across Pennsylvania, New Jersey, parts of West Virginia, Maryland, Virginia, and extending down towards northern Tennessee here, and northwestern North Carolina here, and extending down towards northwestern South Carolina here. The higher elevations here, heading towards just north of Knoxville, Roanoke area, could get a few flakes mixed in, possibly on that borderline between mixed sleet, freezing rain. This is going to be a very complicated thermal profile, as we call it, of the atmosphere. We're going to be switching between all these different precipitation types. The central Appalachians, particularly above that 2,300 feet line, is where we're going to see solid snow, and that's where we'll see anywhere from 1 to 3 inches across the ridge tops of the Appalachians, extending up towards southern Pennsylvania, just outside of D.C. here, over towards Newton, just northwest or western New Jersey here. I don't think the rain-snow line will get, or the precipitation line will get much further north than what's indicated here. The models have been really trending further north, but we think that trend further north is kind of on the biased end here, and it's starting to level out here. So, that being said, we think that's exactly where the precipitation amounts are going to lie, the sleet, the freezing rain, and then the rain further south into southern North Carolina. But this is a frontal boundary, and if any precipitation occurs at night, we could get evaporational cooling, and that is where we're going to see the problems, especially above 1,200 feet, 2,400 feet. 1,200 feet is marginal. That's where you'll see a lot of mixed precipitation, and then heading down to 600 feet or below, probably plain rain. But it's above that 2,400 feet line. That's where you really start to get into possibly 3, 4, maybe 5 inches back and through the central Appalachians here. So we're going to continue to watch that. I will have another update on that tomorrow, probably sometime. So let's get right into the cold snap here. Take a look at these temperatures pushing the warmth off the East Coast. GFS is finally on board with keeping most of the dangerous air further north of the U.S.-Canadian border, but you can see across the northern tier states here, even out west along portions of here, that is where we're going to see a lot of this cold air. We're going to see highs in the teens, possibly single digits, with lows. A lot of states here in the northern counties, or northern tier states here, could see a lot of lows below zero. Probably -5, -10 won't be uncommon around the Great Lakes and portions of northern New England. So that is what we're going to be looking at. And of course, here's my reflection of the average temperatures through the end of January. You see the jet stream here, the positive PNA. Now it's interesting to note the NAO index is showing negative. That's pushing the jet stream off. Actually, the NAO is showing positive. So that pushes the jet stream further off the East Coast, and you actually get a non-blocking pattern. That is why I'm thinking that most East Coast systems will not head up the East Coast. So, that being said, we'll continue to see shots of cold air despite a positive NAO. Isn't that interesting? So, we'll see this positive PNA and a positive NAO. What more can I say? That's interesting. But you can still get cold weather across the northern tier. Let's take a look at what models are indicating across the area. We see across the North America here, models are taking the NAO index. It's negative now. It's going to turn positive towards the end of January. This is a really strange pattern we're in, and that's what we deal with a weaker El Nino. It's like 50-50 either way. So I will keep you up to date on this possible mid-Atlantic southern states snow, sleet, freezing rainstorm. Of course, let's take a look at that advisory map. We're already getting possible freezing rain and winter weather advisories across central Tennessee, northern Mississippi, northern Alabama. I'm meteorologist Mark Molnar. Like us on Facebook at MeteoMark. Don't forget to subscribe to us here on YouTube. Here's a 4-day forecast for my hometown viewers from Binghamton to Elmira and the northern tier counties of Pennsylvania.